Build creative confidence. Beat the inspiration addiction. Join the Writer's Gym. Two creative writing exercises that arguably do not contain creative writing. They do contain a pen and a piece of paper, so you might want to have those. Have you got them? Pause me. Grab a pen. Grab a piece of paper. This is one you can't do on a screen. On that piece of paper, please write the word procrastination in a circle. Maybe a coin-sized circle, maybe something big or whatever you like. Cut it out. Cut that circle out. The one that says procrastination on it. You can pause me again if you like. Or not. You might want to do this later. You might want to just listen to me asking you to pause now. Totally up to you. Have you cut it out? Excellent. Please turn it over and write perfectionism on the other side of that paper coin. And spin it, keep it on your desk, keep it near you. It's a wonderful reminder. Perfect was never on the menu. And when people say it's not perfect yet, sometimes they mean, well, the sensible ones mean it's not cooked all the way through yet. It's not ready to send off yet. But we can get a bit unrealistic about perfect, and we can think that when we're still feeling insecure about something, that means it's not perfect yet. You can go on like that for the rest of your life if you want to. Or you can ask yourself, if you said the thing, one of the things we say a lot at the Writer's Gym, say the thing. What is the thing? Does it need to be got across? Has it been got across? Or are you assuming people know what you mean? Have you said the thing? It could be that. But it could also be that actually it might be more ready than you think it is. It might be ready to go. It might be good enough. And when you spin that coin and you see perfectionism and procrastination, it's not just in the writing, it can be in the submitting. Maybe it is ready to go into the world and be itself, and maybe so are you. One of the really nice things about letting yourself off a hook you didn't know you were on is how much of the time you think you don't have, you then have back to create something new. And every time I go through that process, every time I move on from something and start writing something else, I'm learning. I'm growing in creative confidence to make things happen, to create things, because I understand more about how I was stopping myself. So that's one game. Here's another one. You're going to need a piece of paper again. You're going to need the same pen. I'm going to ask you to draw about 5 lines down, about 5 or 6 lines across, so you have a noughts and crosses grid. And into that, I am going to ask you to put the little things the voices say to stop you writing. And they might not sound like they're trying to stop you writing. They might sound like they're being completely logical, because they might be saying things like, what if it's not good enough? What if it's boring? What if it's too weird? I'm not allowed to tell this story because so-and-so might not have seen that story the same way. I don't have the education. I don't have the imagination. I don't have the time. Just fill those boxes, whatever your brain says to you, rather than let you get on with exploring and imagining and creating that thing. And don't worry if there's only 3. Probably there isn't only 3. Probably there are quite a few, because we've all got them. And when you've got that grid, what I'm going to ask you to do is look at that grid as if somebody else's brain had put those things down. What would you say to me if I told you my brain was throwing those things at me? If my brain was saying, this will never be as good as so-and-so. Give you a few examples of what I look at my grid and see and imagine that was my friend, somebody else, having those thoughts and feelings. What if it's too weird? What I can tell you about any author I've enjoyed is the reason I've enjoyed it is it's like being in somebody's head. It's got an emotional authenticity. It feels like a literal world I've stepped into. And we cannot do that when we're trying to be normal. We cannot do that when we're trying to be interesting. We do it when we're trying to be interested in what's going on in our heads. So maybe I'd pick a different colour and write it underneath in that grid square. Underneath, what if it's too weird? I'd write something like, what if this is exactly what somebody out there needs? Because I can promise you I've been that reader. We've all probably, if you're listening to this, had books that really meant something to you, changed things, made the world a bit more improved for you. Pay it forward, finish what you're writing, get it out there for somebody else. Next to that, next to what if it's too weird, is often what if it's too boring. They do go together hand in hand. And the answer might be, what if it isn't? Or when I was talking to my favourite poet, Rosie Garland, on the Writer's Gym podcast on a previous episode, the example I used in this game was, what if one day Rosie loves what I'm about to write today as much as I love what Rosie wrote in this poetry collection or this novel? And it can happen. These conversations have happened for me. The people we admire are admiring and enjoying us back, and it's a really good feeling. So please work through your card and find that positive opposite, because I promise you that positive opposite is truer than the fear. What we want, what we're trying to make happen in the world, is much more real and much more useful than what we're fearing will happen in the world. And if we are ruled by fear, the best we can ever hope for is the status quo. Because that's where our very well-meaning brain is trying to keep us with all of those phrases. It's trying to keep me safe in the known world where I haven't written that book yet. I haven't put myself on the line yet. I haven't faced the possibility of rejection. That's safe. Because safe and familiar are the same thing. Safe and familiar being the same thing is why people stay in relationships that are not serving them, in difficult or dangerous situations, in things that no longer serve us. And we don't need to do that. So there is your grid. You're filling it up with positive opposites. And if you want to, keep it by your desk or in your photo, in your phone, however is good for you, and write down the times you hear your brain saying those things each day. Because a bit like a bird spotting chart, a blackbird went past at 12:10. That blackbird is likely to go past at 12:10 the next day. That thought is likely to happen in your head every day at the same time when you're doing the same thing. And when we start to see those patterns start to emerge, it does make us go, oh, who knew? My brain's just thrown that at me again. And it takes some of its power, some of its apparent realness away. And it makes you realise what it is we're doing to ourselves. So what I do when those thoughts come now is I don't go, la, 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 not listening. I'm shoving you in a box. I'm sweating to keep the lid on that box. I'm sitting on the box forever. It's not that at all. I let it come. I let those thoughts and feelings come. And I listen to them, and I do what I do when somebody is being all anxious and aggressive. Blah, blah, blah. I hear that behind that is some fear. And I listen to that and I say, I hear you. I hear you. But you are safe, and here you are. Sit. And I'm getting on with my writing now. And I keep that with me. I call that game Excuses Bingo. That title is important. That title reminds me those are not completely logical, independently real truths. They're my brain trying to keep me safe in the status quo. They're excuses for not doing the writing. And I choose to do the writing. Not by getting rid of the feelings, but by existing with them, acknowledging them, owning them, and keeping on writing, because that is where the joy is. You've visited the Writer's Gym with author and coach Dr. Rachel Knightley. Production and sound design are by Ashley Lexine, and theme music is by Chris Gregory. To join a Writer's Gym workout online or in London, as a guest or as a member, visit writersgym.com or email thewritersgym@rachelknightley.com.